here with Charlie and Ben, and we found ourselves some open water in Minnesota in the month of February. We decided to do a little bit of a challenge. I'm Dane Vocelka with Bagley Baits, and this is the Sunny B challenge. What we're going to do is, with this Sunny B in cold water, we're going to fish various rods and applications to try and find ourselves a good pattern to get on a shallower water smallmouth bite. But with this cold water, we're going to have to keep those baits as still as possible while maintaining a slow retrieve and hopefully getting a decent reaction bite or two.
Right, we'll just grind it out and see what happens.
Yeah, grinding out for sure. As this wind's starting to pick up, it's getting a little chilly, but I suppose the further out we can get into the water, the less wind we're gonna have hitting us. So right. We'll get out there, and hey, if it's sunny and there's open water, there's fish to be caught. Let's get after it.
So Dane's throwing a root beer color, which is pretty similar to this color, and Ben, he's throwing more of a shad color, blue olive shad. I like this color here, burnt crawdad. It's kind of a dark color. I think they're gonna like that one. It's got a little chartreuse bottom. When I'm fishing in a river with, it's all rock bottom, that's kind of what makes me decide to go with crayfish color. I'm fishing the Sunny B that goes down 6-7 feet, so the whole time I'm hitting bottom. I try to reel as slow as I can, but as long as it's ticking the rocks, that's what I like.
The big thing with river fishing that I've learned is to utilize that current and the current seam to maximize the action of the bait, and then your positioning of where you're casting it. So if I can cast perpendicular to the current, my bite window is going to be as my bait starts sweeping backwards, at a 45, and when I can really maintain full line direct contact to the bait. What some people will do is we'll cast upstream and keep a tight line and feel your bait move towards you when you're flipping and pitching, let's say a jig. But with these Sunny Bs, you'll have to reel that bait to keep that line tight, and then as it swings, you can either maintain a tight line and pull that bait closer to you. Some people will even kill it and open their bail, and I'll let my bait swing farther down to maximize each cast as you make it. But you kind of have to find that target depth and structure. So you'll either want to let it swing in front of that structure or behind that structure or right over it. And the Sunny B will allow you to feel it dig around and hunt down on the bottom. And I find that it doesn't get hung up nearly as bad with that rounded bill. That rounded lip really reacts and bounces off them rocks nice with that slim body profile. It's very efficient to fish with, and Mississippi is just one place that we can do that. What I really notice here is right behind me is this eddy, this slack water. You see where this current's moving and then these bubbles stop? Sometimes you want to get right on the edge of that seam too. We got a little bit of ice on the line right now to slow down our cast speed, but our casting distance, but if I can get in there, sometimes that's all it takes. It's just a little coaxing.
Hey guys, I'm running the shallow Sunny B 05 in the blue olive shad color. This bait perfectly imitates, your bait fish and a lot of those suckers that swim around in the shallows here on the river that these smallmouth are feeding on. Fishing on a little lighter line so I can use that smaller crankbait. It can get down a little deeper with that 10 to 12 pound fluorocarbon. Charlie's using 15 pound fluorocarbon, and Dane's running some braid to a fluorocarbon leader, so they're running a little deeper crankbait, but I'm running this little guy and got a couple smallmouth on it today. I've been fishing this shallow flat. It's a little depression with some debris in it, and I've been running this crankbait, letting it hunt off those rocks, and once I hit that debris and snap it off there, that bait hunts right off it, and those smallmouth come up and eat it right off it. So it's been a really fun day.
That's what you want to feel with the Sunny B, baby. You feel that bottom. You can tell when you're touching sand, and you can clank into the rocks with that tight action. And I like to use it on a little lighter setup here. I got my signature 8-foot hair rod. It allows me to throw this thing really far. I can outcast these boys. Unfortunately for them, I can get it out just a little bit farther with that long blank. Got him. Got him that time, buddy. Yeah. Oh, the old Bagley Sunny B. Oh. There we go, boys. He was aggressive. He just pegged it. Yeah, so we're just out here dragging this Sunny B around, man, and with that cold weather and a bright sunny day, you want to keep this bait real tight to the bottom on these shallow shoals and feel for those rocks, because they'll be ambushing and using their sight to see these minnows come swimming by, and there's nothing better than that Sunny B just pegging off a rock and having old small jaws come up and grab it. And it doesn't have to be a 4-pounder, but it's a bass in February. So here's the deal with that bite on this particular section of the river. This bait is so great for finding where there's transitions from deep water to shallow water and sand to rock. So I found out that this cast right here, as my line sweeps down river, I can tell when that bait is deflecting off small rock, large rock, and medium-sized rock. And right here we have like a rock vein, and then it stops and then it starts again. And I can just slowly feel the bottom and really stay focused on how my tip is bouncing and what I'm feeling down there. So right now I'm not in much, and all of a sudden you feel a click, 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 bouncing off that softball-sized rock. You make that same cast because things aren't moving other than the water, and you make that same cast and that same speed, that same retrieve, and we had 2 bites there, back-to-back casts. So that's going to be something that we're going to stick with here for a little while as we search for that next bite or two. And there are big fish out here, so it'll feel like you got hooked up on a pretty big log at first, and then they're fighting with the current. And with this rod, I can just absorb it. I can really give it to them, and then back off on the drag and let them fight it out.
It's still like the end of February right now, so these fish don't want anything like with too much action or too wild. You know, a lot of people are fishing with small plastics or even live bait. So we're fishing the same fish that are being targeted with live bait, and so we want something that's as realistic and subtle as we can. Right now I'm fishing over these big boulders. Oh, there's a nice smallie. Burnt craw. Sunny B strikes for me.
With these Sunny Bs, pairing it on the right rod and line can be crucial to fishing it effectively. Now, it's not the heaviest bait, so having a lighter rod with a little bit of length will really help send that bait out farther. And what I like to do is throw it on a medium 6'9" in the shortest applications where I'm real tight. But really my favorite is like a medium 7'2", medium light, or medium fast to extra fast tip, really allowing that rod to send it out there. But too slow of an action, meaning too parabolic of a bend, sometimes doesn't allow you to feel the vibration of that little bait out there. So an extra fast tip can sometimes be clutch for sensitivity. And at 7 foot 2 inches, which is my favorite rod to throw it on, bait casting wise, you can really be versatile on casting that light bait. Now in a spinning rod application like we're using today, because we're limited on casting locations, you know, I want to be able to send that bait out pretty far. So a 7 foot 4 to 8 foot spinning rod, you know, all custom build, and this is a medium light, which with a little bit faster tip is allowing me to send that bait out there and then touch that bottom and feel that sand to gravel to larger rock formations on the bottom, kind of dictating where those bites are coming from, so I can position myself, you know, up to my chest deep. I guess I'm kind of limited on the shoreline, but positioning myself to make the right cast and replicate those presentations. Got him. Big one, big one. And a 7 foot 4 inch spinning rod here to be able to throw this lighter bait. Try and land it without getting too wet here, but look at how he swallowed this thing. Oh, just choking it. Now it's been kind of a slow day on the river here, but man, when you can get a beautiful fish like this in February on old Bagley Sunny B, man, there's nothing better. Oh. There's beautiful brown smallmouth. Good. Oh, thank you, Bagley. All right, we're wrapping up the evening here with the Sunny B challenge. It was a great day on the water. You know, out here a lot of people want to capitalize on live bait, but when you got Bagleys and you can get out here and not worry about carrying a bait bucket around with a good group of good guys, there's really nothing more I could ask for. We caught some good fish. We didn't have, you know, 100 fish day, but we caught some quality fish and had quite a few bites. So it was definitely worth our time out here.
That was a good time for sure. Got to do a bunch of casting, some winding, and some hook sets, and
all the good things, especially when you're only 2 months into the year. 2023 looks like it's going to have quite a bit in store for us.